Good evening. This is AAC live broadcast. My name is Nohan, the media director for the African Advisory Council. In the studio tonight, we have Ms. Salamata Dio. She is going to be my co-host on this show. Tonight, we also honor, as a council, to have our brother Charles Diallo for into the studio tonight. We're going to be interviewing him tonight. So I will take this time to just pass the mic over to my co-host, Salamate. Can you just introduce yourself, please? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. We are here to interview our brother. He is one of us. He is also a special guest who is running for State Assembly. He will tell us more about himself and his plans and everything. My name is Salimata Diop, and I will be co-hosting this show with my brother Noel.
All right. So thank you so much, Salamati. That was a great introduction. The ANC, African Advisory Council, pretty much we're trying to reach out there to make sure that we reach our community. Anything that's happening in the Bronx, in New York as a whole, we just want to make sure that we reach out there to our people to inform them what's going on. So in the studio tonight, we have our guest. Before he introduces himself, I just want to take this short musical break, and when we come back, we are going to go right into the show, giving a chance to our brother Charles Diallo to make an introduction. So just hold on for the short musical break. When we come back, we'll go right into the show. Thank you.
Okay.
You're watching Africa Got to Dance Afrobeat with DJ G-Dex.
If I tell you, say, girl, I love you. I love you. See them and them, I want you. But I need you. I say, make I tell you what you don't know. Say, many don't know. I see them, I say, girl, I don't know. But still, girl, I don't know. Cause now we get to many ideas. We get to plenty, I should be. Like a look at anything a man do. Plenty eyes they see. Like a look at ya. Please don't leave me there. Don't leave me there. If you hold me tight, I will treat you right. Girl, if any man put us under, not put under. Right now we not go run down. You go jump bumper to bumper. Girl, if any man put us under, not put under. Right now we not go run down. You go jump bumper to bumper. Some of them need the package. Forget about the marriage. Maybe all about the money. It go vanish. But not true love to the humble you. No do gra. Good luck to the sample you. Yeah. So you go tell you say, girl, I love you. I love you. See them and them, I want you. Girl, I need you. I say, make I tell you what you don't know. So many don't know. I see them, I say, girl, I don't know. But still, girl, I don't know. Cause now we get to many ideas. We get to plenty, I should be. Like a luma, anything a man do. Plenty eyes to see. Like a luma, please don't leave me there. Don't leave me, girl. If you do me right, I go treat you right now. Girl, if any man put us under, not put under. Right now when I go run down, you go jump bumper to bumper. Girl, if any man put us under, not put under. Right now when I go run down, you go jump bumper to bumper. Now where the bag of day, fire upon them, all of them. You see none of them, they wish you well. Only true love could humble you. No do gra. Good luck to the sample you. Yeah. So you tell you say, girl, I love you. I love you. See them and them I want.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back into the studio. Again, once more, my name is Mr. Nohan, the media director for the African Advisory Council. Tonight, we are very honored to have a special guest into the studio tonight, and his name is Charles Diallo IV. Oh, we will be interviewing him, but before we start, we just want to give you a chance to just use maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds to make an introduction, at which time we're going to start the show. So, Brother Charles, are you there?
Yes, Mr. Boyan, I'm here.
All right, very good. So, can you just introduce yourself to the audience before we can start the show? Thank you.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me online. And also, I want to thank the African Advisory Council for all that they are doing to our community. I remember when I worked for the mayor's office, we worked very closely together to make sure that our community was aware of what the Ebola crisis means and what we could do to prepare for our communities back home. So I thank you all for your efforts. So, I am Charles Paul. I'm running for the New York State Assembly seat on Staten Island. I am a native Staten Islander. My parents are originally from Guinea, West Africa. They came here in the late 80s, and I lived here my whole life. I worked for the mayor for a couple of years as the Staten Island Borough Director and his citywide Islamic liaison, where we worked on significant campaigns, which I'll talk about later on. And from that point, I was appointed as the Chief of Staff for the Parks Department, where we worked on a number of projects ranging from $1 million to $700 million. And the main reason I am running for public office is because this is the community that I grew up in. And there are many issues in this community that have not been addressed since I was a kid, from transportation, health care, youth programming, etc. And I believe with my government experience, I am the only one in this race that can hit the ground running on day one to make sure we get what we need for our community.
Very good. Thank you so much, Brother Charles. You sound very great, and we really appreciate you tonight being in the studio. And the African Advisory Council is very glad to host you. Our sister Salamati, do you have anything to say before I proceed?
Yes, he did a nice introduction. I just want to ask a question, like, why are you interested in politics? Just curious.
I'm interested in politics and public service because that's where change is really made. When you think about the fact that many people in our community aren't involved in politics, aren't involved in government, I think that's something that needs to be addressed, because when people are not involved, then government can do almost anything that they want, and I don't think that's what government is meant to do. Government is here to ensure public safety. Government is here to hear from the people. This is the government, and if the people are not involved in public service or in their community, then I don't think it's good for our future. So I'm all in it to make sure that government is serving our community, and also that we can get more people involved and engaged.
Wow, thank you so much, because as you can notice, we are not very involved, and thank you for making sure that, we are, our voice are being heard. Thank you for just starting. I think we will, move forward together.
No problem, yeah.
Thank you so much, our sister Salamata Dio. Thank you for that remark. We really appreciate Brother Charles Diallo being in the studio tonight. I'm just going to ask in the first question here. Brother Charles, what challenges have you faced since being a candidate for this race?
The challenges, it really has, this race, obviously, this is a campaign, right? And there are a number of things that are going to happen randomly throughout the days. But I think this race really has been focused on, making sure that, we listen to all of the communities out there in the district and listen to people's concerns, right? And, I think one of the biggest challenges that we have seen out there in the community poses a challenge to our community, a community that has like a low voter turnout, and so that's something I think that needs to be addressed. Like, because low turnout and people engaged, you need to consolidate. So, I think trying to get out there to people that there are two different elections, and we just gotta kind of consolidate that at some point.
Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Now, my next question to you. Thank you so much for that dynamic answer to that question that was just asked just now. My next question to you is this: I'm a Liberian, and as you know, Staten Island has many residents, especially Liberian, and there was an issue that came out that the DED will be ending in 1 year time. What can you do to help them?
I'm sorry.
I'm going to repeat. I'm going to repeat the question. As you know, I am a Liberian from West Africa. As you know, in Staten Island, we have many Liberians that reside in Staten Island. Now, they had an issue in Staten Island concerning the DED, okay, where Trump granted 1 year for expiration. So in 1 year time, it's going to be expiring. So what can you do to help them in this capacity?
Absolutely. So that is a terrific question, and also, and I think that's one of the things that we have to do, to our community, like, because this is like a jurisdiction. Of course, as a state assembly member, ask anything at the state level. However, I can work very closely with my counterparts at the federal level and make sure that they have measures in place to, work with our communities so they aren't afraid of, what this administration is doing, and that starts by having a strong leader in office that is local to our community, to the community's concern.
Great.
The community. And that starts by, again, having that federal counterparts.
Very good. Thank you so much. At this time, I will just take a break, and I will be calling on my co-host, Ms. Salamata, to continue with one more question, and then from there, we will go on a short break, and we will be back. Thank you so much. Salamati, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Okay, Charlie, you in your introduction, you talked about issues that our community is experiencing. How do you plan on tackling those issues, or like education, healthcare?
Absolutely. So with education, we have a pretty high property tax right here on Staten Island. And if we have property taxes that high, the least government makes sure that we're getting bang for our buck. What you're seeing right on Staten Island is that our schools are overcrowded, right? We don't have, the state owes the city billions of dollars of funding for our IEP program, that individualized. And this is a program for our kids, maybe station parents. But when the funding is not in, these kids are not getting the that they need. So we need a leader in office who can fight for that funding and make sure that the state, again, the borough, the city, in terms of hospitals, Staten Island is the only city that public hospitals. To make sure the facilities are receiving that they need, that they have safe staffing, that they have adequate amount of nurse to patient ratio, And another thing that I really want to touch on that I think the African community is facing, particularly in the Bronx, and this is something I worked on, is we have to also improve our relationships between our taxi drivers and our police officers, because our virus target is, and we have to bring and making sure that that we have measures in place. And I think again it starts with dialogue. And one of the things that I remember I did while I was at the mayor, we were able to get the taxi leader
Great, great. Go ahead, Salamati.
Yeah, I his answer. He answered the question well, and I think we will be, anything we can do to support him to achieve those goals, we will do it.
Okay, very good, very good. So before we go on a break, I will take this time to say thank you so much, Salamata Dio. That's a great question that you just asked. Let me just ask this question, and then from there we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back. Mr. My question to you is, what plan do you have for the young folks that live inside the island, especially those that face a lot of struggle? What plan do you have for them?
Right. So the young folks, these are our objectives. We need to make sure our get funding in place to a bright future. Funding our programs that are already existing. I'm not talking about creating something new, like funding existing organizations that help mentor the youth and also give them options on career opportunities. One of the reasons why when I was in grad school, I found a nonprofit organization called Staten Island Youth Exposure, and the main reason I founded that organization was when I graduated high school, and many of my classmates felt the same way. The only options that were presented to us was it's either you go to college or you're not going to be anything in life. And I feel like that's the wrong message to send to our youth. And the message should be, as long as you are contributing to society, you are a winner. So what the organization did and focused on, and we worked with the kids in West Bryan, we showed them, like, look, even though you may not be ready for college now, you may be ready in a few years, or maybe college is not for you. There are a number of opportunities in this world where you can be a successful individual. You can be a bartender, you can be a plumber, etc. And these are making well over $100,000 a year. So I think what we need to do is make sure that we're, letting our youth know that they have these options and support those nonprofit organizations that are already doing a good job so they can help more youth be part of the program, so they can build their resumes and also see the amount of options that they have in our city.
Very great, very great. And that question kind of lead to thank you so much for that that great answer, but I just want to connect that question with this. How can you really get them off the street? Because there are a lot of young folks now these days. It's like they're not concentrating to on trying to do the right thing, like you mentioned, getting trades. That's a very good thing, but one of the focus point here is getting them off the street. What can you do to really help them off the street?
What we got to do is this. We got to continue to support our Pure Violence program. So our Pure Violence program, this is something that is already in place where you have True to Life, 49 Strong, like a few initiatives out there that basically have these credible individuals in tough communities that really focus on this violence, right? And these are the critical points. And one of the reasons why this program has been effective and efficient is because these are the people that the youth listen to, right? So I think by having or funding more of those programs and providing support, and letting again the youth know on the street by the credible sources, and like there are a number of options. I think that is the way we got to continue to go.
Very good, very good, very good. Okay, so let me just finish my question with the last question, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back. I will turn it back over to my co-host, Salamata Dio. The question here is, my question to you is, do you have a job plan for them? And if so, can you kind of elaborate on that job plan that you have for them?
So the job plan, it's more of there are so many job opportunities out there. And don't get me wrong, and the city has a lot of job opportunities right now as we speak. If you go to the website, nyc.gov/jobs, you will see hundreds of job vacancies right now. So I think it's all about making that connection and letting folks know that there are jobs available. And what we have to do is work with our
Very good, very great. So, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
I think it's a great point talking about making that connection, like how to get the information out there.
That's right.
Because there are resources and people looking for, jobs and stuff, but they don't know sometimes where they can find those information. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things I was really focused on when I was at the mayor's office was really sharing information with our communities, letting them know, like, these are the resources that the city has to offer. They are free. Please take advantage of them. We're paying taxes, so these programs are in place. And I remember when that Ebola crisis happened, and we worked very closely with the advisory council to make sure our communities were very educated, and so that they know what the city can do and what the city cannot do, and how we could get some of the resources out there into the countries that were affected, and I think the advisory council again played a significant role, in ensuring that our community understood the measures that the city were taking. And I thank you for all your efforts during that moment, during the period.
very great, very great. Okay, that was my last question. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be turning the mic over right after this break to our sister, Salamata Dio, who is a co-host, and she will ask the rest of the question, and at which time we'll be giving the audience chance to call in AAC Live. The number is right on the stream. It's 646-220-7781. But I just want to bring you something very interesting in South Africa. A young man that turned 23 years old, he became a millionaire, a multi-millionaire in South Africa. So just take a break and listen to this, and I will be right back, and we'll come back. Our sister, Salamati Dio, the co-host of this show, will be asking the rest of the question. Thank you so much, and enjoy your break.
This is actually where I grew up. That's my grandmother's place. I spent a number of years, more than a decade, living in these streets. However, for me, it's not a lot of young people or a lot of black people who make it out of this township and do well for themselves. But at the same time, there are people such as your Sandile Zungu. He grew up in this township, and right now he's running one of the most successful companies in South Africa. And it's one of the people that I used to say, if he can do it, why can't I?
At just 23 years old, Sandile Shezi has become one of South Africa's youngest millionaires, but he admits that he made some very risky decisions.
My parents gave me my tuition fees for the year to go and pay for university, and I actually took the entire amount and I threw it in the forex market. I actually started trading through Standard Bank online, where I was buying and selling stocks, but at that time I didn't really take it that seriously. After working on a few businesses, I realized that if I really put my entire energy into this thing, I could actually make it big. Being a young trader, I started networking with other people already in the trading industry. That's when I was introduced to what we call currency trading, which is the forex market. Then I moved over. When we started the business, it was very challenging and difficult. For us as young people, we never studied business management. We don't come from an economics background or those kind of things. For us, it was more about, get a company registered, just get it off the ground, open an office, and just jump in the deep end. And of which, when we got started, that's when we realized things are not as easy as they look. You can't just open a laptop and start trading. You got to understand what you're doing, and that's where my company comes in. That for us, it's about grooming people and making them understand that when is the right time to buy, when is the right time to sell, and how do you go about avoiding losing your capital. We want to empower everybody about forex. We want to make sure the masses know about trading.
I might be holding on, and I end up having a repeat of what happens to the Zim dollar. I hold on, it loses more value. I hold on, it loses more value. Eventually, what I'm holding on to has no value.
As a company, we do what we call free beginners classes. So essentially, anyone and everyone, irrespective of background or education, qualification, they can come through for a free beginners class, of which there is no fee for that. They don't even pay for the seats when they attend. And essentially, we pretty much give them all the basics they need about forex and what we do as a company.
How did Aliko Dangote become the richest guy in Africa? I wanted to know, how did Tony Elumelu become one of the most respected billionaires in Nigeria? How did Sandile Zungu, a black boy from a township in Durban, make so many billions in his lifetime?
When you get into entrepreneurship, the first thing in your mind is money. That, I need to make money, I need to feed myself, I need to be able to take care of my expenses. But once you have done that, you start looking at a bigger picture that, I've got employees to take care of. I've got people to make sure that we take care of. We've got clients and.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the show again. My name is Nohan, the media director interviewing our brother Charles Diallo 4, who is running for State Assembly seat. And with me in the studio, I have my co-host. Her name is Salamati Dio. She's going to be taking over the mic at this time to continue the question to brother Charles. Salamati, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much, Brother Nohan. Chad, as the first African American getting the first, Democratic Party endorsement, how do you think we can support you? How do you think your community will support you? Who can support you? What do you expect from us?
Yes, so I think one, definitely, I have to raise a great deal of money, right? So that's one way. So of course the folks can go to the website, make a contribution that it will be appreciated. Another way that people can help is the time where we're collecting signatures for our petition. So if you're a registered Democrat, please come out and help get more signatures and petitions for us. And if you are not a registered Democrat and you can't vote, you can still be involved with the campaign. You can help us make phone calls. You can help us, educate people on who I am as a candidate and what this campaign is all about. So there's an opportunity for everybody in this race to be involved. And we have right now well over 200 volunteers signed up, and that have been helping, but we need more. This is a district that has over 130,000 people in it, and we have thousands. They're saying that the voter turnout for this election is going to be extremely low, and with what we're doing this campaign, I really want to change that notion. I'm really optimistic we will change that notion because of the amount of people that we have on board, and I really want to bring more of our community involved, so they also understand what the process is like. How do I win can I do if I want to run in my community one day? And I'm ready to help anybody that is looking for those answers, and that's what it's all about. Helping others out that want to do great things for our community.
Great. So I know yesterday you had an event going on. So will you have more events in the future so we can, find ways to get more and more people involved?
Absolutely, yeah. No, we had a fundraiser out in Manhattan. It went very well. We are actually planning another fundraiser within the next 2 weeks. I can actually forward you that information once we finalize the date on that. But if we have all of the information for live on fundraisers or where people could donate or how people could be involved. It's on our website, which is charles4ny.com. It is all letters, no numbers. You can also check my Facebook out. It's very accessible.
Okay, so great. We will share those information with our network so everybody can, benefit from those information. Also, I have one question about, how, for old people, older people, 65 and plus, do you have any, plan for housing benefits and, retirement plans and stuff like that?
That is such a great question. And, look, these are our elders. When I think about our elders, I think about my grandma and my grandparents in general, and we have to care for them. And I feel like what's going on right now, and I was just at the senior center just 2 weeks ago, where, I don't know, why this was happening, but the administrators at that senior center were holding the Social Security checks we were able to get their checks. You know, there's no reason why, you know, it should be held. You know, these are our elders, these are our grandparents here. You know, so what we need to do is ensure that we have tax credit for our seniors that have worked really hard throughout their lives, and they're just looking to have a peaceful retirement lifestyle, period. And, you know, and I feel like what we're seeing right now is really not good, and I think we definitely need some more of, you know, affordable housing, tax credit for seniors.
All right, Salamati?
Yes.
I can receive a call from the chairman.
Okay.
He said we should give chance for people, for the audience to call in or ask questions.
Right, exactly.
So ladies and gentlemen, the line is now open. You can call. The number is on the screen. It's 646-220-7781. Our brother Charles, the other four, is online. He's running for state assembly in Staten Island. So you can now call as a music player. You can call, and then we will pick your call up, and then we can proceed with the program. Thank you so much. And we're taking a musical break and waiting for your call. Thank you.
You're watching Africa Got to Dance Afrobeat with DJ Judex.
If I tell you, say, girl, I love you, I love you. See them and them I want you, but I need you. I say, make I tell you what you don't know. Say, many don't know. Cause you them I say, girl, I don't know. But still, girl, I don't know. Cause now we get to many ideas. We get to plenty, I should be. Like a look at anything a man do. Plenty eyes to see. Like a look at ya. Please don't leave me there. Don't leave me there. If you hold me tight, I will treat you right. Girl, if any man put us under, thunder, not go thunder. Right now we not go run down. Go jump bumper to bumper. Girl, if any man put us under, thunder, not go thunder. Right now we not go run down. Go jump bumper to bumper. Some of them need the package. Forget about the marriage. Maybe all about the money. It go vanish. But not true love with the humble.
All right, in the meantime, we're going to be talking while waiting for people to call in for the studio. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the number is on the screen. It's 646-220-7781. We are taking call. If you have any question, you are welcome to call the studio to ask your question. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you so much, Brother Charles. While we're waiting for people to call, there is a very big step you took. Just trying to address the people out there the best way they can help to support you. So but say Salamati, do you have anything to say towards that?
Say it again.
Do you have anything to say towards that while waiting for people to call in to ask questions?
Yeah, just asking Brother Charles how confident he is in winning this election. I know I'm pretty confident, and we will do our best to help and support. So what do you think?
I am very confident.
Exactly.
I think the voters will see, and I think they're gonna want somebody that has lived in Staten Island their whole life, that understands what the issues are, someone that has been involved in the community, that has worked in government, that understands how government works, that has worked on policy items, that has fought millions and millions of dollars of capital funding. We're talking about again, funding ranging from $1 million to $700 million. We need somebody in office that has that experience, someone that can hit the ground running on day number one. And I think the voters will see it. We're going to be in every single election district in this community. We're going to be on every single block. We are going to, make sure, so far we reached 25% of our goal for the amount of signatures we need for our petition. So there is no stopping. We're gonna, keep the pedal to the metal. We're gonna keep going very hard. When I played, I was an athlete. When I played basketball back in college, and there was that winning mentality that I just that's gonna carry over right here to the political world, but this is something that's very important to me because this is, changing and improving our communities, period, and that's something that's near and dear to my heart, and we need somebody that has that experience, somebody that has lived here, and that's me, so I'm looking forward to, having those conversations and speaking further about it, to the voters out there, which we have been. And actually, right when we get off this call, I'm going to be right up there talking to voters, going door to door, hearing people's concerns and getting their signatures.
Okay. That's great. I am so happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so great, man, to just, have him on the line trying to share, with the African community, with everyone for that matter. We are all just, partaking in this. We want to see a better life. We want to see people just, just getting a growth, just opening, a platform for everyone, to take part, especially our women, just having, empowering them, to have voice into the community, just giving them a chance to do what they need to do, So these are things that we're really trying to do, in the African Advisory Council. I was just, talking with the chair one time that sometimes we even want to go to, from community to community, to visit, our people, just asking them, how you feeling or what's going on, I mean, these things, by itself is good because sometimes people feel by themselves like nobody care for them. These are some of the things that we really want to do, maybe the next term we'll go back, after the recent break. We really want to try to reach out to our people in the community, So yeah, I'm very proud, and I just want to take this time to say congratulations to Brother Charles, taking a kind of a very effective step, trying to go for this. And we are here, we are open, and we thank God that you're online, just trying to make sure to hear from your people, Again, once more, audience, we are still waiting for call. If you have any call, because exact 7 o'clock we will be in the show. The time check now is 6:39. So if you have any call, you can call in while we're online, just discussing with our brother who is running for the state assembly seat, in Staten Island. So again, I mean, from the community you are living in, Brother Charles, I mean, from the American community, do you feel any challenges, or I mean, are you getting the message across by any chance?
I'm sorry, you were going in and out. Can you just repeat that question one more time?
Yeah, I was saying, if you're getting any challenges from people that live in Staten Island, especially the American community, in trying to reach a message to them that you're running for the seat. How is that? Like, how the transmission? It is going through, or there's any difficulty with that?
No, people have been very receptive to our message, and people, they want to see change. They want to see a new generation of leadership. They want to see a breath of fresh air, and I think that's what people are seeing when we're out there and speaking with them, and they're tired of the same old politics. They're tired of people pointing their fingers on why something can't be done. They're tired of Democrats saying it's Republicans, Republicans saying it's Democrats. Once the finger pointing starts, that's where government failed, and people are tired of that, and they need somebody that can come in office and change that, and that's why I'm running for office.
Very good, very good. I'm very impressed, I'm very impressed, So, Salamati, video. I mean, how you feel as a woman? Because one of the things our chairman trying to do is to empower women. So, I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think our chairman is doing a good job giving a woman, a voice. Because at the African Advisory Council, we have a lot of women in the, board, like as board members. So, and I think they are doing a very good job in terms of, contributing and, in our committee we have Victoria, who's I believe the vice president, who is also doing a great job. I think if we come up with combining all the ideas we have, we can help the child win these elections.
Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good.
And I'm really happy to see, to hear about the diversity on the council, because women are they're very important to our future, and one of the things that I'm gonna highlight if I'm elected, God willing, is I'm gonna make sure that we have equal pay for equal work. It does not make any sense to me why men are still making more than women on a television. It just doesn't make sense to me. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and my daughter, the way I'm raising her, I want her to understand that there are so many professions out there, and she could do whatever she wants. Whatever, if she wants to be the president one day, she can be the president one day, but she needs to work her tail off, and I want her to know that those opportunities are there as long as she works hard for it. A woman's right to choose should never ever be questioned. I don't understand why that's even a debate for people. It's just that's something that we need to ensure. And another big thing, and you're seeing this every single day, we have to end sexual harassment in the workplace. And if I am elected, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna work with my colleagues to make sure that we have strong policies in place to make sure that anybody that deals or works with the state has strict policies in place. If you're gonna receive taxpayer dollars, you're probably gonna receive taxpayer dollars. You need to have strong policies in place to protect our women. So that's very important. And look, I want for their children, and that's what I'm gonna make sure is done if I'm elected.
Wow, great! I am so happy to hear that. Wow.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it is a pride, to just hear, from the brother, just, he's so, zealous, so just make sure that he run for this office, and speaking with confidence, I mean, it's a great thing, it is a great thing, Sarabati, I mean, one thing I was also impressed when Maury did, when he told me, personally that he really want woman to have voice, and he always emphasized it, and I think it's a good thing. And what about the child just said that he want women to have equal pay? I think I agree with him, because I mean it makes no sense if you can do A, I do A, why should we get different pay? It just don't make no sense. So yes, I really stand by him, and I support him, that women should have the same pay as long as the same volume of work. Yes, so I really do agree with him. What do you think about that, as a woman?
Well, I mean, I think, look, there's times where I look, women, they are the backbones of our communities. There are times where they are working really hard, and they deserve to actually get way more money than their male counterparts. And we're seeing the exact opposite, and that is completely wrong. When my mother came here from Guinea, West Africa, she started out working at Burger King and worked her tail off to be where she is today as the chief financial officer for a bank in Lower Manhattan. But that didn't come easy. She was going to school going for her bachelor. She was raising 5.
Okay. Hold on. We got a call. We got a first call here in the studio. So let's just see. Caller, you just called AAC live broadcast. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Sister Soiree.
Oh, Miss Soiree, how are you? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, with me in the studio, I have I know you one of the co-hosts. Well, we also have our other co-host in the studio today. Her name is Miss Salamata Dio. She in the studio, and we also have our brother Chaz, who is our special guest in the studio as well. Welcome to the studio. Thank you.
Oh, Miss Soiree, how are you? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, in the studio, I have I know you want the co-host. Much. Well, I was calling to find out. I mean, I have a question. I don't know if you got to the point to answer the questions already.
That's right.
All right. So, my question. Okay, I'm gonna ask our candidate. So, we know that African community is one of the growing population in Bronx. So basically, my question is, we know also that African community is the forgotten community among all other immigrants. So how does his planning, you know, he needs our vote to vote for him in the office. How can he's planning to help us to get out of that kind of lost group of immigrants?
That's a really, really good question. I'm really happy you bring that up. It's very important. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier of getting our communities involved and teaching them the importance of being involved and civically engaged. And once our community is involved and engaged, we have the power to elect somebody that is in our community to represent us at that level of authority. So we have to have that representative on our community in our community. We have the chance to have a voice at the table. We can fight for those programs at the table. So that's where it starts.
I'm kind of losing you.
And we will. Our community will have a seat at the table.
Okay. Because we have like different issue, and it's really, really important to us to know that how can a candidate that we will be electing in the office who's gonna come up and help us with the everyday issue that we're dealing with within our community. So, like the language problem, let's see, the education, like access to information. So I can name it, like it can go, the list can goes on and on and on and on.
I know, and that's why again, like I have measures already taken to ensure that that especially like when I worked for the senator, the first one was the Ebola outreach. So when they ask what are the languages to translate this information for, so we can get it out to a number of communities. So if you already have some of that effort already taking place without already let out this thing taking place. Yes, our communities do have issues with housing. There are many people out there that are working full time and are still having a hard time making that rent payment. Think about this: there are many people that are working full time and are living in homeless shelters. Can you imagine that in 2018 in the greatest country in the world, that people are working full time and living in a homeless shelter? That's when something is wrong and it needs to be changed. And that's not only our community that's going through that. This is like a systemic issue. A lot of people.
Yeah, actually.
Are going through it.
One minute, Salamadi?
Yes.
When you ask a question, you got to mute your phone, or else we'll keep getting the echo in the back, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so when you ask a question, make sure you mute the phone, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I was saying that I know the system is in place. Yet the system is in place, but the system is failing us. It keeps failing us. Yet it is there, but they're not really delivering the service that those people need. And like yesterday, we went to meet the controller in City Hall. We were kind of discussing all this. We're discussing about the AAC, how they can help us, how they can get involved more with helping our community. So one problem that we mentioned really clear was like the language barrier. So basically, most of African, not all of them, but most of African have really that big of the problem with the language. That the ones who's coming from French-speaking country are the really people who the most affected one, because they have the language barrier, they cannot have access to the information, and which most of the information they don't know. So that's why I was thinking one of the problems that we need to really work on it is to make sure that that language, we have funding to put the French like availability for those people to get access with all of those services that they have available.
Great.
We all know that the system is there, but the system is failing us.
Okay, I can
Go ahead, Miss Dio. Hello? Hello?
hello here. Yes, I said I can relate to what she's saying because I came from a French-speaking country, Senegal. But the thing is, sometimes there are resources out there, but since people don't know about it, they would prefer to stay in their comfort zone, which is like in their community where they can speak their own language. So we, as she said, is really important for, you to like Brother Child and stuff to get, funding or something out there that will help them, come out and try to, learn more and get that language barrier which is keeping them from, being successful or just getting involved in things that could, lead to, learning or getting their education done or whatever it is. I think it is really important what she just said.
Yeah, and look, let me tell you, my mother, again, this is what she went through when she first came into the country. And I remember the story, she tells me the story often, that when she was giving birth to me, the doctor told her that one day her son is going to, teach her how to speak English. So, I mean, like,
Put it for on mute, guys. You gotta put it for on mute. On mute.
I'm sorry?
No, not you, Brother Child. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Hello?
What I'm saying is that, like, you're going to have family members that have gone through this, and, I understand the need of, making information more accessible, etc., and that's what I'm saying.
We're losing you, Brother Child. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, good. Salman?
Yes.
I think he's finished with that. Miss Farry, are you there? Miss Farry?
Yes.
Are you there? Are you okay with the answer?
Yes, actually, I am okay, but I will be satisfied end of those services if you really deliver to us, because we will try to keep working with all these candidates, all these people in the office to really get to the point that we are satisfied that, okay, we're now getting what we really want. So, for now, I'm going to take the answer. It's okay. So, we will, but in the meantime, we will still trying to work and push forward to get exactly what we want.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Farry, for that dynamic question. We got 4 more minutes to go into the show. By 7 o'clock, we're going to close the broadcast. So at this time, I will take just a brief. I just want to take this time to commend our brother Chaz, for being in the studio. It was an honor for us to just really host him, to just give a view to the audience out there. So I'll just ask this time before we go to brother Chaz to give a final statement. for the audience. I just want to take this time to ask our co-host to see if she got something to say. She can say it very quickly, and then we'll turn the mic over to Brother Charles to give a final word to the audience.
Okay, what I would ask is, after his final statement, just, give out his contact information and ways to reach out to him.
Very great. So, Brother Charles, it's all yours now. Just give a brief, final closing statement.
Again, I wanted to thank you for having me on here today, speaking with you about this race, which is very important. And I also want to, thank you again and the advisory council for all that the council has done. The Ebola crisis, helping out officers, educating the community. This is the community that I grew up in. This is the community that gave my parents the opportunity when it came here from West Africa to live the American dream. I'm very proud of my culture. I'm very proud of my religion. Very proud of my name. And I, am the person in this race that has not only, lived, in this community and fought for everything that I have, but I've also worked in government. I know how government works on the inside. I know what we need in this community, how to fight for the resources that is needed, how to implement policies to improve our lives. And I know if I have our community support, I will win this election. And I'm hoping I can count on everybody's support that is tuning in today. So if anybody wants to reach me, they can always give me a call at 718-213-3424. You can also send me an email at trolls4ny@gmail.com. And you could also visit our website, which is www.trolls4ny.com. Visit my Facebook, which is Charles B. Full. Again, I thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from anybody that may have questions or that may want to be involved. I think it's very important that our community is engaged and involved. It's very important to the process. And again, thank you for the opportunity for having me on.
Can you repeat your number again one more time, please?
The number is 718-213-3424.
Very good. Very good. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we end the show tonight. We just want to say thank you so much for being. Let me just ask, Ms. Salamat Soare, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes,
I am so sorry for that. Do you have anything to say to Brother Charles before you leave?
Actually, I'm thanking him also, Mr. Charles Taylor. So we're looking forward to work with him, side by side. So we put him in the office and we get what we want.
Thank you so much, our sister Soare. So, Brother Charles, it was nice having you, and we hope to see you back on this broadcast. You can watch a recap of this broadcast. I will make sure I text it to you. And if you're not friendly with the African Advisory Council, I will also make sure to friend you so that you can be able to watch a recap of this broadcast. All right?
Super. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, folks. Thank you so much. That's the end of the show. We're going to take a musical break, at which time that's how the show going to end. Thank you so much for being in the studio, and I will see you. Have a great night, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye, you too.
You're watching Africa Got to Dance Afrobeat with DJ Judex.
If I tell you, say, girl, I love you, I love you. See them and them, I want you, but I need you. I say, make I tell you what you don't know. Say, many don't know. I see them, I say, girl, I don't know. But still, girl, I don't know. Cause now we get to many ideas. We get to plenty, I should be. Anything a man do, Plenty eyes they see.
Mated Africans to seek to regain their independence from the colonial masters. Historians will remind us that we were first enslaved, that Africans were taken, and this we seldom say. The first civilization to take Africans out of this continent were the Arabs. And they took Africans from the eastern coast. And it is sad that in that part of the world, there are not many Africans who remained, because it was in the business of the Arab enslaver to castrate Africans. We never say that, but we must say it because it is historically significant. Then the Europeans came, the Portuguese came, the Spaniards came, the Germans came, the French came, the Belgians came. Africa became the hunting ground for the European colonizers, and we were the sport. We built, our ancestors built the United States of America. Our ancestors built Europe. And when slavery had lost its shine and sheen, the Europeans abolished it. But they replaced it with yet another pernicious enterprise, the colonization of Africa. The Europeans sat in Berlin, in Germany, in 1884, and they looked at the map of Africa and parceled it out. The British, the Germans had their share, and Tanzania or Tanganyika was their share, as was Rwanda and Burundi. The Spaniards were Johnny-come-latelys in the arena, and they got little Equatorial Guinea and Southwest Africa. The French were here, the Portuguese were here, and we were colonized. This time round, they did not take us away. They came here, and they controlled us, and they told us, not in so many words, that we were children of a lesser God. And we were treated as if we were children of a lesser God. In fact, they told us that on the day of creation, we were merely hewers of wood and drawers of water. And if anybody were to doubt it, in 1948, it was more blatant when Hendrik Verwoerd instituted the apartheid regime in South Africa. But yet there is a sense in which the God that we worship never sleeps. The colonial enterprise ran its course, and the European tribes, the Europeans never called themselves tribes, they called them nations, were engaged in a war. First in 1918, the European tribes fought. And they had something called the League of Nations, which died. Then they fought again in 1945. And what is unique about the European nations is that when they are engaged in tribal wars, they call them world wars. So there was another war between 1945, 1939 and 1945, and after that, a new kid on the block, the United States of America, took the lead in saying that colonialism was something that was undesirable. But at that time, Africans were never quiet. Those who had been taken out had already started agitating. Many of us here will remember Marcus Garvey, of whom Bob Marley says, Garvey was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America. And many of us will remember W.E.B. Du Bois. Many of us will remember that they started agitating that Africans must regain their dignity and their independence. And indeed, in 1847, in Liberia, a small group of Africans were brought back in Monrovia, and Liberia became the first independent black nation in the continent of Africa. So soon thereafter, in Sierra Leone, they also created yet another colony. But Africa was colonized, except Ethiopia, which they tried to take in 1938 and exiled Professor Dr. Haile Selassie. And unfortunately, they were defeated, as you remember, in the Battle of Adwa. Africa can defeat European tribes. This history is necessary that we are able to appreciate the freedom that we gained. So that Garvey came, W.B. Du Bois came, but there was another crop after the 1940s who had had the advantage of European education. And there were people in Europe also who are beginning to recognize that indeed equality was necessary. And this was not anything new. In 1776 in the United States of America, the American state sitting in Philadelphia in the United States of America declared unto themselves that all men are born equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A few years later in France, after the revolution, they also recognized that we were to be equal, so that the colonized nations which had now taken Africans thought that they were safe. They had taken Leopold Sédar Senghor from Senegal to Paris, and they thought that they were creating a little Frenchman. Little did they know that they were creating somebody who would want to overthrow them. They took Félix Houphouët-Boigny from Côte d'Ivoire, and they thought that they were creating somebody who would be subservient to them. They took Ahmed Sékou Touré and Modibo Keïta, and they thought they were safe. Little did they know that they were creating the future leaders and agitators against French colonization. And it did not stop there. The Portuguese also took Agostinho Neto and Amilcar Cabral and Eduardo Mondlane to Lisbon. Little did they know that those individuals would be the catalyst that would be necessary in the process of decolonization. The British also had their fair share. They took others. They took Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, Hastings Kamuzu Banda, Kenneth David Kaunda, and many others to the United Kingdom, Jomo Kenyatta. Little did they know that those would be the individuals who sometimes later, and in Ghana, of course, they took the Osagyefo, Kwame Nkrumah, and in Nigeria, they took Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sultana of Sokoto. There is a sense, therefore, in which these individuals started recognizing that having been enslaved, having been colonized, we now had to liberate ourselves. And the agitation started. And Kwame Nkrumah and his Ghana acquired independence in 1957. And I still can hear Kwame Nkrumah through the vicissitudes of time saying in Accra, Ghana, that Ghana is free and will never be colonized again. But the freedom of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa is not free. I can hear Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere saying that he is prepared to delay the independence of Tanganyika so that Tanganyika, Kenya, Uganda would become independent at one time. Mwalimu could see the future with the exactitude of a Jewish prophet. Jomo Kenyatta and Obote could not. And therefore, we gained independence as separate states, and the story will be told shortly. So what do we see? The agitation, the demand by the people that we must be decolonized. And why is it that we were asking that we must be decolonized? Why is it that we were demanding that we must regain our independence? Because throughout the ages, it was always the divine plan that men must be masters of their destiny. And when we gained our independence, the leaders of the day were eloquent as they were clear that the reason why we were asking to be independent is because we wanted to take charge of our affairs. We wanted to be the governors. We wanted to have our young men and women acquire education. We wanted to control the production of our food through agriculture. We wanted to build our infrastructure. We wanted to improve the quality of the lives of our people by improving their health. We wanted to eliminate poverty. We were clear on what we wanted, and this message was as clear in West Africa as it was clear in East Africa, as it was clear in Central Africa, as it was clear in Northern Africa, so that if you listen to Kwame Nkrumah, it's as if you'd listen to Agostino Neto, and if you listen to Neto, it's as if you'd listen to Samora Moses Machel, and if you listen to Ahmed Ben Bella in the Maghreb, it's as if you'd listen to Patrice Emery Lumumba. There is a sense in which there was unanimity that this was the only way, and we attained independence. And I remember so very vividly in 1957 in Casablanca, Morocco, was it in 1960, when the then 8 independent African countries met on the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah, was clear that we must ensure that everybody else regains their independence, and that we must remember that the colonial master is not asleep, and that if we don't unite, he'll come under other guises through the neo-colonial project, but they listened to Kwame Nkrumah not. And even before they assembled in 1963, in the month of May in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, no sooner had countries started attaining independence than the neo-colonial project started taking root. And in 1960, the first coup d'etat and assassination took place in Togo when Sylvanus Olympio was eliminated. 1 year later, Patrice Emery Lumumba was eliminated. So that in 1963, in the month of May, when 32 heads of states and government assembled in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, there were several speeches, but 3 speeches stand out. Kwame Nkrumah's speech, Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere's speech, and Emperor Haile Selassie's speech. Haile Selassie was the host, and his own inimitable style, he reminded the congregation who are present in Africa Hall in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, that that was a momentous occasion, and that the long-term health of Africa not only required but demanded that Africa must pull in the same direction, Haile Selassie said. And Mwalimu took the baton from Haile Selassie and repeated the same words, celebrating the fact that we were independent and we had the opportunity of determining in our affairs. But the greatest of the speeches was that of the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah had a sense of urgency which everybody else did not have. He said, not in so many words, but in effect, that if we want to immunize ourselves from the diabolical machinations of the erstwhile colonial master, now turned neo-colonizer, we have to move here as one Africa, with the United States of Africa, with one army, with one currency, with one central bank, and with one nation. but they listened to him not. They had started getting used to the trappings of power. So what they came out with on that day in the month of May 1963 was a weak organization of African unity, the OAU, which many commentators were quick to describe in many ways and many times as the toothless bulldog. It was never a dog. It did not have teeth, but the effect of it is that it did not do very much. Some say it was a talking shop. Mzee Warioba, who was then active in political life and in other sectors, will attest to that. Yet later, we were to create another body, the African Union, and we'll have something to say about that. So we come out of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in 1963, clear as to what we want to do. The African politician begins to emerge. We have them in different parts, but they begin to show characters that are totally inimical to our expectations. You of the Swahili say, maskini akipata matako huliambwata. Maskini walipata matako zililiambwata. They started getting used to the trappings of power. And we started having countries which we thought would liberate us. And I'm talking about the hygiene of the politics. It started disappearing. Many of these individuals now thought that they were demigods, suffering from what I call the Messiah complex, thinking that they had been brought to Africa to liberate her, and that they suffered from two major diseases. One of them is the martyr syndrome, and the other one is the Messiah complex. They think that their countries owed them. Africa started producing leaders that one cannot recognize. How many of you will forget Jean Bedel Bokassa of Central African Republic, that man who murdered little children in the streets because they did not buy a uniform from his wife? That Jean Bedel Bokassa. How many of you will forget Mobutu Sese Seko Kumbendu wa Nzambanga, who changed his country's name and presided over a kleptocratic regime, the Democratic Republic? Mated Africans to seek to regain their independence from the colonial masters. Historians will remind us that we were first enslaved, that Africans were taken, and this we seldom say. The first civilization to take Africans out of this continent were the Arabs. And they took Africans from the eastern coast. And it's sad that in that part of the world, there are not many Africans who remained, because it was in the business of the Arab enslaver to castrate Africans. We never say that, but we must say it because it is historically significant. Then the Europeans came, the Portuguese came, the Spaniards came, the Germans came, the French came, the Belgians came. Africa became the hunting ground for the European colonizers, and we were the sport. We built, our ancestors built the United States of America. Our ancestors built Europe. And when slavery had lost its shine and